Hi, I'm Joseph Mo, founder of A Greener Planet. Subscribe to our channel if you want to save our planet. Check out our other channel, EPRO Podcast, and check out our website in the description below. Today, we will be exploring microplastics and how they affect us. There are three types of plastics: macroplastics, microplastics, and nanoplastics. Macroplastics are the largest type of plastic, and although counterintuitive, are the least harmful to marine life. However, over time, they break down into smaller and smaller pieces known as microplastics and nanoplastics, both less than 1 micron long. Around 5 trillion plastic particles are currently in our ocean, most of which are microplastics. Over 40 million tons of microplastics are on our shorelines and coasts. As a result, our increasing understanding of micro and nanoplastics will deepen our difficulty to mitigate plastic pollution. There are two types of microplastics: those that are primarily created and those that are created from macroplastics. Personal care products are created from microplastics, for example. According to Napper et al. 2015, users of facial scrubs may be responsible for a discharge of 263 tons of microplastics per year. They can also be created from an unintentional release of feedstock, other byproducts of plastic pollution, and the release of rubber particles from wearing of tires. Recycling plastics can also lead to unintended consequences regarding microplastics. PET drinking bottles are readily recycled. However, instead of making new PET bottles, about 80% of recycled PET is used for fiber production in the clothing industry. Fibers are lost from these fabrics due to wear and washing, generating another significant source of microplastics in the environment. Microplastics are especially harmful to marine life. The consumption of microplastics can have the following effects: obstruction of feeding organs, reduction in feeding activity rates and capacity, particle toxicity, the carrying of invasive species, and suffocation. Microplastics can also contain harmful residual monomers, additives, and can absorb harmful chemicals from other sources, increasing the severity of the aforementioned. Microplastics are hydrophobic or insoluble and have a high surface area to volume ratio. As a result, they can absorb environmental contaminants. If there is a significant concentration, then there is an increasing possibility that these concentrations could go up the food chain and therefore cause serious health problems. Microplastics can stick or be absorbed by the bodies of marine animals via cell membranes, gills, and prey because microplastics and nanoplastics are so small. Macroplastics are normally too big to enter these passageways, exemplifying the destruction micro and nanoplastics can cause to organisms. Microplastics can also serve as a vessel or transportation system for invasive species such as microbes and invertebrates. This can pose an ecological impact to native species, as these nanoplastics can travel long distances in the ocean. The increase of debris and microplastics in the water will continue to support transportation of non-native species in the marine environment. We can consume microplastics via cosmetics, consumption of bottled water, salt, honey, beer, inhalation of microplastics in the air, marine organisms, and even your tea. According to Cox et al. 2019, an average American consumes between 39,000 and 52,000 plastic particles annually. These estimates reach 74,000 and 121,000 plastic particles when inhalation of microplastics from air is considered. If one only consumed water via bottled water, one may ingest up to 90,000 plastic particles annually alone, while only 4,000 if one consumes tap water. The effects of microplastics on humans remains to be studied, however. A study in California was first to report levels of microplastics in river surface areas. The report found varying levels of plastic contamination levels. For that given location, the study found 3 different plastic contamination magnitude differences between plastic concentration and different time periods, mostly due to events of dry and wet weather. As a result, it proves that runoff plays a very important role in the transport of microplastics in the freshwater system. The seasonality of plastic concentration varies in freshwater contamination in rivers. A study in South America monitoring from scientists and volunteers at the Elqui, Maipo, Biobo, and Mule rivers demonstrated a consistent pattern between numerical concentration of microplastics and the presence of litter deposition on riversides. This proves that plastics can affect both us and the environment. The recent regions with the most losses of microplastics are the following: North America with 15% of the global amount, China with 20%, Asia excluding China, India, and Japan 14%, Western Europe 11%. The main reasons of these losses of microplastics are due to large populations and per capita plastic consumption in these regions. Losses of these plastics and microplastics should be minimized to slow the consumption and pollution rates in these regions. Today, you have learned that microplastics affect everyone, from marine organisms to us. The effects of microplastics on humankind remains to be studied. However, this once again exemplifies our need to control our plastic emissions, as they could hit us back. I'm Joseph Ngo. Hit the subscribe button if you want to save our planet, and I'll see you next time.